the law of process. Very, very important. And it says leadership develops daily, not in a day. One of the things I find is that a lot of persons believe they can take a crash course in leadership and they will automatically develop all the characteristics that will make them a very effective leader. Now, it's very important that you understand that that's not the process. Leadership only develops through process. It is the mistakes, it is the time that you learn and you learn whether you win or you lose that gives you that understanding and knowledge as it pertains to leadership and just going through that process. Now, as we go through the process, you have to understand that the process is what encourages development. And why is it that you have to go through a process and it's not a crash course? Because leadership is multifaceted. And because it's multifaceted, you can't achieve all the things within one particular time. So for example, leadership speaks to influence. And because it speaks to influence, you can't gain influence in a split second over an entire group of persons. It might take time. It might take time for your team to buy into your vision, for people to buy into you as an individual, and that's over a process. It's not, just 1 day, 2 days. It probably be over a semester, it probably be over a year, right? So you have to understand that it takes time. Now, the important thing is that leadership takes navigation, which means your ability to navigate people from point A to point B. And to navigate people from point A to point B requires of you time to be able to navigate them. Again, reminding you that it's a process. Is when you learn to appreciate the process that you're really able to understand how meaningful and impactful you can be as an individual. Because life is not about a destination. Life is about a process. And your ability to learn to appreciate the process will determine how the quality of life that you live. Very important to understand. Just to go through a few of the other multifacets of leadership. Empowerment. As a leader, you have to learn how to empower people. And empowerment doesn't take place overnight. You learn how to empower people by, going a one-on-one with them, talking to them, understanding their struggles. But that doesn't take place overnight. I know we're trying to stress the importance of understanding the law of process as it relates to leadership in particular. Because when you understand, as I mentioned, and I keep going back, the process is over time. The process is never within a day. And we really want to stress that. A few more of the other multifacets is that relationships. It speaks to the value of establishing relationships. If you have been in a relationship before, you are with your family, your friends, you understand the fact that those relationships take time to grow. That is why you have to learn to appreciate the process, because when you appreciate the process, you appreciate the ups and downs in those relationships and how you can make it better. It speaks to also timing, understanding when is the right time to do something. Sometimes the right time might mean you have to take a few months before you make a particular move, because timing is very important as well in the leadership and the law of process. It also speaks about momentum. Building momentum for your team. To build momentum, sometimes it takes time. It means you need to get your team together to understand the vision and to start get small activities going, because momentum is not something that is built in a split second. It's built over time. It speaks to also sacrifice. Sacrificing for your team. Making certain decisions to hold out on certain things until then. For yourself. Making certain sacrifice, time sacrifice. Effort sacrifice. It requires a process, and you going through that process, development takes place. Very, very important. The key here is that the development takes place through the process. So I just wanted to remind you today about the law of process as we continue this leadership series. I want you to remind you also just to appreciate the process, because the process that is most important. It's not the destination. Who you become because of the process you go through is way more valuable than the destination that you're going to get to. Thank you, and again, and have a blessed one.